Good morning. Y'all, it took me a few minutes. I don't see anybody on here yet. Um, Anywho, it took me a few minutes to get this angle set up. Anywho, I'm gonna start. Maybe some people will jump on. Just letting you know I changed my camera situation a little bit. So if I bump it, it's super sensitive. And I'd love to have the angle where you could just see it straight on. Hey, Marilyn. So it looks okay. Does the sound okay? Because I don't have my normal stuff going on. Anywho, I was trying to get the normal angle, a good angle here. And this is the Seven Seas by Nanami. Oop, there, notebook. Good morning, Candace. But that's what I'm going to play in because when I asked people, I think it was yesterday, what they'd like to see, that was one of the things everybody wanted to see was playing on this paper. Good morning. Oh, goodness, y'all. Now my husband's aquarium's going to start beeping. If it does it again, I'm going to have to go unplug it because he doesn't get to sleep until late and I don't want it to aggravate him. Oh, you call live when Penny's colorful live. Anywho, this morning I painted this chickie and there was a artist I found. Sometimes I'll go on Pinterest. Let me see if I can find it right quick. And I think it was, anyway, I tagged this name. Let me see if I can show this without too much glare. Hello, Jesus. There. That's where this chick came from. So you can still see my style, I suppose. Wasn't a full-on copy, but that's what I do sometimes when I get bored. So the next one I thought I'll get on here and do with you guys. And I'll change the color up some, and I'll show you where my color came from on this one. Is this one. Okay, this camera's wonky, y'all. You have to say hello to it. Get it to focus. Anyway, that's the one I want to kind of do. I love the triangular shape faces that particular artist uses. And hopefully, if this thing doesn't focus good, I'm just going to scream. Anywho, it's kind of a triangular shaped face, so that's what I'm going to do. Kind of lightly do a triangle. So y'all see me draw and paint today, and probably fumble and holler. I have to be careful with foul language. Don't offend anybody. I think I have more foul language when I'm sewing than when I'm drawing. Hey, Tracy. Morning. Y'all, this is all new to me, this live thing on here. So I'm trying to get everything, all the kinks worked out. So if I can kind of slow or whatever. And anybody watching this back can always speed it up. Hit that speed thing in your settings. Okay, she's got a little part here. I think I'm going to do that. Now I need to create something I like too, not just. I always like these kind of square jaws, low. Even though his is triangular, I'm gonna, or hers. And the eyes are super high. Is this thing like in and out, in and out? Because I don't think it's a manual thing, and I don't think I can correct that at all. So, well, we'll see. That was my second language. Now my computer's kind of a bit to my left, so if I miss your comments, that's why. I'm having to take my eyes way away from this to see what you guys are saying. Maybe I should put my iPad over here so I can see. And this one has almost alien-like eyes. Yeah, I don't know about this camera deal. We'll see. May just be better on my phone, but I wanted the quality to be somewhat decent. Good morning, Amanda. Now, y'all, this paper, I haven't played with it until yesterday, day before. I used to have one and I drew in it all the time. I don't know that I've finished that book. I need to pull it out and see. Once you get to the back, though, and it starts getting chunky. Working on that little fold, but you know what? Let me back up. I'm just going to work on the right pages of this one. So maybe I won't have that issue. I wasn't going to copy this nose, but we shall see. I may change it. Just need to bring that in. Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of talking to myself now. I'd like for y'all to know my thinking process, but get these lines out of here. Which journal? It was clear. Okay. If it was, I'll just use my phone and send this thingy back. Because my phone has that ability to do the 1080, whatever that is. So many frames per second. So if this doesn't work out, I'll just change it back. It's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me. So y'all be patient. And if it's too fuzzy and causing your eyes to wonk out, I think the lighting too may be playing a role. Oh, this is the Nanami 7 Seas paper. If you go to nanamipaper.com, you'll see it. I do like this chick's little braids. I don't know if I'm going to do that or just do a little pigtail maybe. Let's see something here a second. Oh, Lord have mercy. You go live and then everything wants to hit the fan. Woohoo! Y'all hear that peeping? Hey, Laura. Give me 1 second. Let me go unplug this thing. So sorry. Next thing you know, the dogs will come around here and start ringing the bell. They'll need to go outside. Okay, I think her little pigtails or whatever these are going to be needs to be a little bit longer. And this is my normal, y'all. I will draw, erase. I do use an eraser. I'm not one of those that's confident enough to just leave it. There. I think she's good enough. I can Now my chair's wonky. I think she's good enough I can start. Well, what kind of... I'll just put her shoulders going off. Excuse me. Now the fun part. I think most people like to see. This paper, I don't even think you can compare it to watercolor paper because it just is not the same. You can play on it with watercolor, but it is not thirsty at all. Sometimes you get puddles, which I like on this paper. I like the effect it kind of gives. Try to establish her eyebrows a little bit better. That's one thing I don't usually put a whole lot of time into. And a lot of times, y'all, if you don't mind it a little grungy, I'll take my blending stump before I watercolor. Some people won't do this. Oh, y'all, I'm not sure about this camera. I'll kind of shade some first. Now it's still going to show. Like I said, some people don't like this, but I don't mind a little grungy, dirty look. Yeah, I think I like my phone better because my words, the comments were right here too. And this thing is in and out, in and out. I don't know if I can stop that or not because it's just a little webcam. That's why you keep the box, send it back. We shall see. And I had my headphones plugged in, y'all, but I wondered if I turn my Pandora on because all of this is hooked up to my computer, if the sound will come through. I'm not sure. There. Thank you, Marilyn. Okie dokie. Just gonna put a few more shading spots in here with my stump, and then I'll do the rest with my watercolor. And I don't know how exactly to let you guys know I'm going live on here. I guess you could do a notification thingy. I don't know. And I'll get better with these things once I get the camera situation sorted out, figured out. Okay, as far as color goes, somebody did mention that too, how I select my colors. And normally I just have my favorites that I've gotten used to using, but this time today, I used this book by Ivy Newport. I got one of her, it's like a scratch and dent sale, but I used these colors. It's the first page. I was flipping through it, couldn't make up my mind. I said, why not start from the front and maybe start working, through each page. But it has different color stories, I guess, you could kind of use. But these are the colors I picked out, and this is what I used on the other picture. This one that I posted. Now it's totally different from the way her color page looked, but it's all good. Still gave me some ideas on pictures fading in and out. I think when I put my hand in front of it, it wants to focus on my hand. Stupid thing. If it's made for live streaming, it shouldn't. I don't know. Anywho, I took those colors from Ivy Newport's book and the colors that I have on my Daniel Smith palette and tried to make some that were similar. And these are kind of drying out, so I'm going to have to wet them. But I got sap green, Quin rose, indigo, and Naples yellow are the ones that I chose to use in here. So let me get my paper towel in my hand, my palette, and then I'm going to have to pull some more of this color. I'm going to get this Naples yellow. I'll use my phone again next time, y'all. I was just thinking something different may show up better. Technology, huh? So I'm just going to go in to these shaded areas, what I like to shade with this Naples yellow. And it's not too wet, but kind of wet. And then I rinse my brush and just kind of pull most of the water off of it and then push into it. And it gets rid of those little lines. It kind of blends it out. Oh, you're getting a really glossy look. Mercy. Yeah, I'm not digging this. I'm sorry, y'all. Should I end this, or is this going to be too troublesome? And then I can figure it out with my phone, maybe, y'all. And I just won't even save this video. What y'all think? Keep going, and maybe put my phone up here and start back? But then it won't be a full video for anybody else who joins later. That's aggravating. Oh well. It's me, y'all. I'm trying to learn this mess. What you think? Y'all tell me, should I just redo this? But like I said, if I do, I'm going to be starting kind of in the middle for anybody who didn't join us live today, like this morning right now. Gosh, all you're seeing is the glare of that water on this paper. I don't even see that. I'm just looking straight on and getting this color like that. But I can't put it right in front of my face. Keep on trucking. Keep going. Okay. Y'all just bear with me. I'll work it out. I just hate tech stuff. I know Tracy does. She's been posting her issues. Okay, y'all. So with these colors, I don't have my burnt sienna to shade with because I usually like to deepen skin tones with some browns, for deeper shading, and sometimes Payne's gray, but I'm trying to limit myself. So that challenges me to learn more colors. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to mix a little bit of the sap green and just a smidget of indigo. Let me put some more on my palette. I'll try to show you what I'm doing. So there's indigo, there's sap green I put in the middle there. Just going to see what it does because I know what my normal colors do that I like to use, but these are outside my norm. Oh, shoot. I almost cussed. I almost used a swear word. Okay. I'm just going to mix in some of this with this green. And maybe a little bit more. A little bit of Naples yellow. Okay. So you see it's like a greeny gray. I'm going to take that and use it for shading since I don't have my burnt sienna normal. Trying to stick with that color palette. The only thing I really pulled off of there that she didn't have in her book was that Naples yellow, but she didn't pull out the skin tones. I think she, in that picture, used just the surrounding colors. And I've seen a lot of other artists use green in faces, so it's not uncommon. There's one dude that uses green as his base all the time. His stuff looks really awesome. Oops, wrong color. Okay. Okay, that color looks okay. But you see how on this paper too, you can't paint. I mean, you really have to kind of dab, because if you paint, you make streaks and it doesn't work. Well, for me, it doesn't. So I'm still playing with that mix I just made, but I'm going to try to grab a little bit of a thinner layer on this side. Not quite as dark. A little bit more watered down. Now I'm still pushing into it. And this is that silver black velvet brush I always talk about. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of Naples yellow over here. Kind of give her jaw some form, her cheeks. And a little under here. Oh, I like the green too, Caitlin. It's not my normal, but you never know. That's how you learn. Just kind of experiment, and it's the way you find out. Ooh, I got a new color to use. I still love my pinks, purples, and yellows all together, and it's the cool. I guess it's cool. I don't know. I'm still learning about that. Now I'm using the mixture that I originally made of the Quin Rose and Naples Yellow mix. I'm just going to give her some cheek color here, and that's super wet. So I'm going to have to reduce the water on my brush if I want this color to pop. I'm going to have to let it dry because it's too wet on here. I'm going to have to put it on a thicker concentration without as much water, I guess. But I do like the subtle kind of look of it instead of it being too bold. And I always like, and you see I got a drip going on there. Some pink on the nose. And I'm drying my brush off pretty good. There. I'm going to put a little bit of that under her neck here too, that same color. When I use one color, I like to kind of move it around and put it in little spots here and there. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this to you so you can see. You just ordered that brush. Oh, Laura, did you play with one too? Did you play with yours yet? All this lighting. And I turned my other light down. Anywho. This paper, though, one thing I love about it is the crinkle. Some people may not, but that crinkle is something about the sound and the feel. It just, I love it. I have missed playing with it. Tips and tricks to help me sew. Oh, cool beans. I don't know which tips, but it's good. I hope I'm describing it okay. Help you out. Alrighty then. So now I got to figure out what color for her hair, and I think I want to go with the dark color. So I'm just going to go with that indigo. I'm going to put more on my palette over here. A little flowery thing, the bob. Okay. I think I'm going to do her hair with that. And if this is wet, which you guys are getting a really good shot of the wet, you don't want to touch it too soon. Let me do something right quick before I mess up here. I'm going to tap that back out, and then I'll go back in a second. I need to dry this first, because if I get too close to her jaws, it's going to put that gray may bleed right into, or that indigo go right into her face. So let me dry this right quick. Snowstorm fright. Oh gosh. I know, right? We didn't get any snow this year, which we don't get snow very much at all, but all we got right now is pollen. I mean, if you look across our sky, it looks like fog, and it is pollen, y'all. It's just a yellow haze everywhere. So, and I'm bad to check my paper like that and smear it. And I do flip my pages over and heat it from the backside too, y'all. I feel like it dries it quicker. It may not. Just something I started doing. Anywho, now since that's dry, I can get up close to her cheek here. This is just straight up indigo. But yeah, I'll put my hands all in it and smear it, ruin a page in a second. Oh, this brush, y'all are going to love it. But now, don't give up on it if you don't at first. Because you have to, I don't know, just you have to get used to handling it. Like not putting too much pressure on your page. Because I have control to use that tip, I don't know. I'm not finding the right words to use this morning. Like you can't, I don't know. I'm not even going to try. Y'all can just look at what I'm doing and know what I'm saying, hopefully. When you hold your brush back far away just to get that little line, you really have to have a little bit of control with it. And that's the one thing I love about this paper is when this dries, it gives you those little puddles. I like that look. And this girl has no ears. Cool. I need to make this a little wider over here. Now when this dries, you see how this just stops here? I'm going to try, I need to touch it. I'm going to try to leave it alone and I can't do it. Indigo is pretty. Yeah, using watercolor paper, definitely. I would not start with this paper with this brush. Unless you just really want to hit it. That's what I did. But it does make a difference. Big, big difference. Okay, now I'm going to add this indigo for her shirt. Now it is pretty close to her hair, but I'm going to mix it. And it's super wet. So I'll just pick some up with my brush. Just dab your brush off and this brush will soak it right up. It's really good. So I'm going to use that. And should I use green? Now I'm wondering if I want sap green down here or the Quinn Rose. I think I'm going to try the green, y'all, because my normal would be to go with the rose. I like pink everywhere. There. I'm going to put a little more indigo in here too, because that was too light. Y'all can't see what I'm doing, can you? That's what I did. I'm going to put a little more of this indigo in here. My indigo in my palette's too wet, so the color's not very bold. So I added a little more to it. I'm going to try to make that look like a little bit of a shading area there and just kind of dab it. You have to kind of pat into this because now if I drag that brush, you see how it's picking up color here? There's like a happy medium with this paper. You either move the color around or you're going to pick it up totally because it's wet. Now, if I let it dry, like most of us should do, this shirt part is off. Anywho, I kind of like her green. I'm going to go into her face now with a little bit of indigo. Just shade a little bit of these areas because it's dry and maybe it won't lift too much of that color. Now I'm rinsing my brush off after I put a line on there and then drying it out pretty good so I can kind of pull it out. And because my light source is usually from this side, the right side, I want this to be a little darker. This is still wet too. So I'm going to try to shade this area a little bit. A somewhat moist brush, a little bit dry, and then push into it. Yeah. Well, she's starting to look a little ghostly, huh? The lighting in here just absolutely sucks for this camera. I'm getting tired of waiting for this side to dry. So, there. Just having a good old time right by myself. Anyhow. Okay, I'm going to put some more of this Quinn Rose on my palette over here because it's empty. And I may add, so I got two little bits here of the Quinn Rose. And I think I'm going to put some of that Naples yellow in here, make it a little orangey. Look how pretty that color is, y'all. Okay. I'm going to go into her face a little bit with that color and see how I like it. It's a little too orangey red, but it's okay. When you pat into it, it takes most of it away. You still get that little bit of color in there. There. And what I'll do is just drag this brush over here since it still has some of that color on it, but not a lot. And move it around over here too. Kind of balance it out a little bit. What I'll end up doing though is putting the that Naples yellow over here. I hope you aren't hearing me scratch my throat with my tongue over here. How good this camera is. Tell me all this pollen's like, ooh. I'm going to do something I probably shouldn't because this is wet. I want to go on this side with a little bit more of that Naples yellow. Because with it being wet, it's going to activate, you know, it's going to kind of mix a little more over here. And sometimes y'all know when I do post pictures, especially watercolor, I'll punch the color up. So if you see something on Instagram and you really, really love the colors and sometimes you can't achieve it, it's because people punch it with the, I say punch it, they make it more vibrant with the Photoshop. I do because it's hard to capture pictures of pink and show its true color. It loses it. I don't know why. But the pinks just do not film They don't pick up well. There. Now what I'm doing is just layering everything, because as it dries, it gets, it just fades, it lightens up. There. What y'all think? Y'all digging the color palette? It's definitely different. And I'm going to deepen her hair some too, the color. Go ahead and put her some lip color on. Put her some lipstick on. Y'all see how fine though you can get that line, and this is a number 8. Cool. There's plenty of images on Pinterest too. Instead of, like, you don't have to buy that book. It's good. I like my paper. I like my paper copies of stuff, but what's the keywords you could look up on Pinterest? They got plenty of those where you take a picture and then snag the colors from it. I don't know what keywords you would use. Anybody know? But anyway, plenty of it on Pinterest if you have issues with selecting colors. I tend to have my favorites, so. And I absolutely love that sap green and Quinn rose together when you mix them, that is. Maybe I should have done that for her cheeks. But check this out, y'all. I'll do it for you so you can see it. This is the sap green. Let me get a deeper color. Too much water. And a little bit of the Quinn rose. Look at that color. I mean, it's just pretty. It's almost like a purpley burgundy. I love it. That's probably what I should have done on her cheeks, because when you mix it, when you have green and pink together on here, then when you mix it together and put it on here, it just plays super, super nice. I'm going to try that. Yep, that looks better, because the color by itself was a little too cool, I think. I could be wrong. Oh, yeah. See how much better that looks than the other side? Okay, let me mix some of that over here, because what color did I have? It's too brown. I mixed it with some purple on my palette over here. There. I'll put some of that sap green and Quinn rose over here too. Now I'm going to have to change your lip color too, because it's way too cool. I think. Now, y'all, I could be using those terms wrong, but in my mind, that's what it looks like. It looks cooler than that. Can y'all see a difference in color? I know, Laura, it really does. It was a challenge. I said I like to challenge myself. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of this color in here too. You really have to dab, y'all. Don't drag your brush around, because it'll certainly move colors where you don't want it to go on this paper. Really super light touches in some spots. Now I'm going to use that same color a little bit over her eyes. I may mix a little bit of that indigo up here too, because it's going to be too much pink everywhere. Okay, I'm getting some indigo now. Now she's going to look dirty. Here. What color eyes? I think I'm going to give her some green eyes too. Make the color, put some more green in another spot. Make your eyes kind of move. So since, let's see, trying to figure out where I want to go next. I think I want to go ahead and add some more color to her hair because I'm losing it. It's kind of getting dull. What I'm going to do now is just do it in the shaded parts, I think. I think I'm going to leave part of it light because I want to give it some depth. I'm just pushing into it and leaving some of that lighter edge. I'll try to remember to hold it up a little bit so you can see maybe. It's hard to do, y'all. So I'm just putting a line down on the darker side of her. That's closer to her. See, if you drag your brush, it lifts it up off of this paper. So you really have to dab. I'm gonna put a little more up here too. I'm trying to use the pointier tip of this brush, not the whole thing, because I want to leave some of that lighter space and some of those white little bits in there, which I'm bad for shading in everywhere. Cool. Now I'm gonna put a little bit of that indigo in her eyes too up here, because green and blue is always pretty together. A little bit of shading up there. And I am on an easel, y'all, so my colors are falling. If you work flat, you know, your petals will stay put. Mine are moving. I just work better with it facing me. Now I'm going to get a little bit of this indigo on the point of my brush, and kind of deepen her nostrils a little bit with that color. And this, whatever this is called. Thank you, Marilyn. I'm going to put a little bit there too. I think she needs a little bit more color in her nose. So I'm grabbing that, what was it, Quin Rose and Naples Yellow. I'm going to put it right here. And she needs a little bit of that, whatever that is here, where you color throat thingy bob. What colors? Okay, I need that green, a little bit of green. Now the tricky part for me is now going around her eyes, outlining it. A lot of times I'll just grab my pencil now, dry this, and then deepen everything with my pencil. But it actually looks better if you can take your time and highlight it or darken it with a color. But when you have to use that little tip and do it, you don't have much control. You can really say some bad words because then it goes, oh, okay, I'm going to try it. So I'm going to try to keep that tip. Let's see, I might be in wet territory over here. Okay. And I'm going to turn it because I do better pulling towards me. And I do sometimes just short strokes. Hey, monkey. Here's my baby. Did you wake up, Mama? We got a little chihuahua. Oh my God. She's my baby. Never thought I'd have a chihuahua, y'all. And she is a moody little thing. She definitely has that chihuahua attitude. Not too bad, but not too. It's not perfect. You can see the little splotchy lines. But good thing about watercolor is I'm going to let this dry first, and then I'm going to go back in with a kind of sort of wet brush, but dry, and then push into it and blend it some. I'm not going to do that yet because it's still too wet. So I'm going to try to do the same thing up here with eyebrows. Oh, I think with YouTube, y'all, is there a time limit on videos? I told you. Didn't I tell you? They'd be up ringing the bell here soon. Monkey, you cussy. Y'all give me a second. Don't want any accidents in here. Nico cussy. Go cussy. Cussy, cussy. Okie dokie. I think she's near done, y'all. Now with this one, I put some color around her. This one I didn't. I mean, I drew some little whatever's around her later, but hey, Peggy, you'll get to watch it back. My video is weird and wonky. It's not focusing. I got to play with these camera. There. I'm probably just going to do it on my phone again the next time and hope the settings are okay. Thank you. It's easier than the Instagram because Instagram was just constantly like in and out. I thought it was my connection here, but it wasn't. So y'all see when that was pretty much dry, you see how splotchy it was this side? And this one is smoothing it out, but giving her that little bit of shading under the eyelid like it needs. Because it's a wet brush, but it's not like sopping wet. So I'm just pushing into it and letting it come down into that space there a little bit. There. Okay. Now just looking, it's kind of helpful seeing the camera on my computer because I can look at it and see the test was good. Yeah, I think I'll just go back to using my phone after this and send this thing back. Get my money back. Then I can buy more toys. Or just save that money, right? Okay, I'm going to take some of this indigo now because it's a little off balance to me and put a little bit in her neck here to kind of separate her head from her neck. A little deeper shading here. I think it needs. And I don't mind cutting a little bit of her chin off because she's got a longer chin. Yeah, that looks better to me. You'll see. Let me push into it now. I think some of that needs a little more of that yellow down here too. It's too white everywhere. There. Y'all see how much, well, to me this looks better with that under there. This paper is a lot wider. Oh, I messed up drawing, y'all. Let's see. This side's more, gosh, I'm backwards. This side is smoother and this is more blocky. Okay. Well, I'm going to dry this a little bit and then go over it with my pencil some. And I'm going to try to adjust this side See, I shouldn't worry about all those little imperfections. Oh, really? Okay. So I'm going to grab this 6B. No, let me get a different one because I wasn't. Where's my other one? I had a Derwent somewhere. What did I do with it? I think it's a little darker. Derwent 8B. I'm going to try to. There. Y'all see how that fixed that? It kind of came down and over instead of up like this. So just that little bit of pencil in there fixed that to me. Now I'm just going to do some little loosey-goosey scribbly lines because I love it. Some people do ink, and I just haven't grasped doing ink lines yet. I just kind of suck with pen. And with this, if the lines are too in your face dark, you can always just take your blending stump and blend it out. That's what I like to do. See, this is really finishing it off pretty. And I flip. And if you make a mess like I just did, oh, I really need to clean my spot back up over here. Mercy. Focus. You see those lines I just made a mess? Just gonna erase them. I do love pencil and watercolor. And I put something up at my window over here to kind of keep this light, but I didn't hang it up high enough. There. Okay. I'm going to dab just a little bit of that pink right here. Ooh, that is not a dab, is it? She's a hot mess now. There. You see it lifted some of that color right there, so I better leave it alone. And her eyes need a little more depth because they're flat. Right now they're just all green. Even though I put some of that, she looks native. Is it the braids? Drip liquid paint all over my desk. What you talking about? Figure out how to do what without getting it all over. Did I miss something? Okay, so I'm going to put some color in her eyes now. A little bit more green. Some of that sap green, just darker on some sides of it. Because it looks too flat having one shade of green. I'll put a little bit over here too. But not too much. And what I may even do on her her left side, my right side, is put a little bit of Naples yellow in there. Right when you think you're almost done. Oh, dripping paint with the eyedropper. But I bet it's fun. I love drips and splatters, but I do make a mess. I've had drip splatters all over my eyeglasses. I need to order some from that cheap website just for arting some eyeglasses. Yes, I see this nipples yellow over here too is gonna kind of change up her eyes a little bit. That looks better. Okay. One other thing I see I want to fix. Just put more of our pupil in here. And it's wet there, so it's not very smart of me to be working with pencil and wet because you can rip your paper in a hot minute. I just don't want that glare to be that big. And if I fill in too much, I'll just put some white, what you call it, gel pen. And I always like a little bit on her lip. Not that you can see it too much there, but oh well. Does that help y'all with painting on this paper at all? Now it's so much easier on watercolor paper. This you just have, it's a little more finicky. And I do think she needs some color around her. I'm not sure which color, but you know what? I'm using just some of this leftover paint over here. This is the Quinn Rose with a little bit of that Naples yellow. Just gonna try to fudge that out a little bit. Just do a faint pink around it, I guess. It's like dirty water. That's what it looks like, dirty pink water. Oh, put too much in there. Let me get some Naples yellow and mix it in there. I love that orange. I love the orange that pinks and yellows make. Droopsy dropsy. Okay. Let's add some deeper color. Y'all, this pink has not come across pink on camera. It almost looks red on my computer. But this is Quinn Rose. It's so pretty. It looks way more red on my computer than it is on paper. Now, since it's so wet, and that's the sexy part about this Chamoy river paper, I'm going to put, let's see, I'm backwards, so I'm going to put some of that Naples yellow over here and more pink over here. So it's darker on that side. I got my pink in there after all, y'all. I was going to try to stay away from it a little bit. Look how pretty that is. Oh, don't y'all love it? Drip drips. Love that look. And that's the pretty part of this Chamoy river paper. Oh, got that too wet. Careful. I'm almost finished, y'all. Took up almost an hour of your time already today. Now this is looking a bit bright. I'm loving the drips though, y'all, but it is too bright for this picture. It's too dark. Oh, I hate to even dab it because it's so pretty. You know what I may do? I'll tell you what, let me dry this right quick. Hold on. Lovely. Look what I did. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna grab a stencil. Oh, now I don't know which one I want to use. These numbers or this one. I like that one. I'm going to get a wet wipe, a baby wipe. And since this color is dark and I wanted to lift some of it up, I'm going to do this way. That way I get a little bit of texture in here too. Let me show you. See how it, I don't know. I'm thinking I might want numbers. Let me do the numbers instead. So I'm going to try to remember, see through here. It's messy. I don't wash them. I'm going to try to stay away from her face though and lift some of this color out. Because these are thinner stencil, you have to kind of push into that spot. Gabby girl, you just went out. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty. Let me get a little more of this out. See, I love it. I'm going to take some off of over here too. Just a little bit. You just got to stay away from her because you don't want to lift her color up. Keep kind of peeping to see where I'm at because it's hard to see through the stencil. Yeah, I like that. What y'all think? Cool beans. I'll just smudge that somehow. I don't know how. Anywho, I'm going to dry this because the sun is really coming in on me. See, I made a mess on her face with that stencil, but it's okay. I can lift some of that out. Yeah, I like putting that texture behind her. I think it looks good. You could put a flower stencil or whatever you like. I smudged it here. But you got to be careful laying that wet stencil on her face, like I did. Anywho, y'all, I will come back on here another time. If y'all have ideas, shoot me a message on Instagram if there's something I can help you with, or if there's something y'all want to see. I'll get the message on here or on Instagram if there's something familiar. If there's something you'd rather see. Oh, Jeanette, it'll save. I think it just automatically, I think. Last time it just automatically put it up on my page. So hopefully. Anywho, I'm going to get off of here and chit chat with y'all later. Send me a message if there's something else you want to see. I can do watercolor on different papers too. Different watercolors. But anywho, thank y'all for joining me. And I'll see you next time. Bye.